around the world has a God. And I will have respect for that belief. What you can't do is say that that belief is so powerful that everybody else should have it.
Fine, it's your opinion. I mean, if you don't want to accept, that's fine. At the end of the day, yes, there were wars in Islam during its history, during its early history, and even later history. There's no doubt. I will not say there were no wars. And when you say the peaceful religion, it doesn't mean it was all rosy from the very beginning. You know, when Prophet ﷺ, from the very beginning, since his parents died, since his uncle and his grandfather died, yes, he had been on the receiving end. He and his people, the early Muslims, were driven away from Mecca, from their own houses. They were persecuted to the point where they had to basically run away from their own homes. And
what has that got to do with the origins of him being in a cave?
You're trying to imply it was all just rosy. It was all
what
wars
has this
and
got to do
I'm
with?
coming to that. So what I'm saying is that yes, they were driven away, they were persecuted, and the same thing if you look at other religions. If you look at the time of, for example, the time of Jesus, yes, he was persecuted. The people that were with him, they were persecuted. To be honest, I don't think any prophet from the past, yes, who has not been persecuted by the people that he was. For example, why do you think Noah had to build an ark? Because he was also persecuted by the people. He was trying to convey the message. Now we have to go back to history and we look at all the prophets. Most of them had to face this persecution from the people.
Prophets?
Noah, give an example of Noah, give an example of Jesus, example of Moses. The Pharaoh wanted to basically kill all the Hebrews and the Jewish people at that time, and they were persecuted. So Muhammad ﷺ and his companions were no exception to this persecution. Because when you spread the truth, when you want to spread saying, yes, believe in one God, not this 360 idols, do not believe this paganism, I would call it paganism because it involves idol worship.
Based on what?
That's fine. We'll do the...
Sir,
let me finish and then you can interject, my friend.
Based on what? Because what you're doing now, you're proselytizing, do you understand? And you're not giving an answer.
I will give an answer
to the question
in my way if you don't mind.
But let me just say,
if you stop interrupting me, then I can finish.
Sir,
I did not interrupt you with all due respect. You've been speaking here at least 15-20 minutes.
You can interrupt me. I told you you can interrupt me.
No, but I don't want to. That's not how I dialogue.
That's not the point. It's not the point. It's Hyde Park.
We can't get a point across if we keep interrupting.
And this is the problem that I have with Muslims.
Which is what?
Let me tell you what happens. Anytime somebody... I'll speak for 10 seconds. Anytime someone says something in an intellectual, clear, concise manner which goes against the doctrine that you've been taught, the first thing you do is raise your voice, interrupt them and try to throw them off. I understand.
Hold on, did I interrupt you? Or you interrupted me?
No, you did, but that's fine.
Don't try to put what you believe is righteous, yes? Thinking that I'm the one who interrupted.
Sir,
when you look,
I've only spoken from an Islamic perspective.
No, that's what you think.
No,
that's
I'm
your
telling
assumption.
you as a fact.
For example, when you said...
Tell me where I've lied.
Where you have lied?
Yeah, just tell me where I've lied.
I didn't say you lied. You might...
Sir,
you might not have
can only speak on truth. Tell me where I lied.
Okay, I'll tell you what. When you said Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, yes, who fought wars, and I asked you which wars, you did not want to respond to them.
Let me tell you why.
Which wars did you fight?
Let me tell you the reason why I don't get into that. I made clear the reason why I'm getting into that because the origin of the argument is not the wars. Yeah, it's immaterial. The origin of the argument, which you're not going to take me off of my path on, is that the religion that you follow is no different to the adherents of the other religions that existed at that time. Your story is no more plausible than any other stories. Why on earth wouldn't I sit here at the moment and speak about the three main Indian religions and the wars that they had? It's nonsensical.
You know, you said something about Islam's origin, with wars and with terrorizing, for example.
I didn't say that.
Killing.
I didn't mention the word terrorizing.
Maybe you should look up the videos that's been uploaded.
Okay, then if I did, I did.
You know, I'm still not clear as to what you're trying to say. If you did not want to imply that, what is the point of this discussion? You tried to imply that Islam's origin wasn't peaceful, in other words. Is that what you're trying to say? Isn't that what you're trying to say?
No. You can't put me in a fit. I'm
asking you, I'm not telling you.
I'm saying amongst many other things, amongst any other things, I would have expected that if someone makes a claim that no other religion that I've ever heard of makes, whereby it says that there is no other prophet yeah, after Muhammad, and I'm saying that's an incredible claim. That's no other prophet after Muhammad. I then want to see the results of what that religion says and what it does. And so I look at the religion again, and I look at the caliphs, do you understand? And I look at the murder and the tyranny that surrounded it. Now, you may well say there was war at that time. That may well be the case, and I knew that there was war at the time. No, you did say that.
If you heard me, what I said was all the prophets and their companions before were persecuted.
Sir.
Do you disagree with that?
All the prophets were persecuted from the region of the world that you're talking about.
Which is?
Well, the region of the world that you're speaking about.
Oh, you're talking only about the Abrahamic faith. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right.
Oh, okay, the Abrahamic faith is a
The
problem.
Abrahamic faith.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
right. So
Now we're getting somewhere.
all of the Abrahamic faiths, yeah, make that particular claim. The point that I'm making is that the world extends beyond the Abrahamic faiths. So I'm asking, how was it, because I can tell you, I already know the answer, yeah, but I'm asking, how was it that Islam, for example, and Christianity, do you understand, has spread across the world? Because as far as I'm concerned, they are expansionist religions. They are expansionist religions. There is a reason today when my daughter...
Are you somehow trying to say Islam spread by the sword? Why didn't you just say it?
Well, hold on a second.
no
You
need to.
can't put words in my mouth.
No, but that's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Well,
Come
hold
on.
a minute.
There's no-
I mentioned expansionist religions, plural.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Which is the Abrahamic faith?
I didn't say singular. And so, just for people who are not aware, the Abrahamic faith is Judaism. You understand, Christianity and Islam. I'm saying when my daughter and I had a discussion today, and she was speaking about why is it that you can go to certain countries in the world and they only speak English, for example. I was trying to explain to her how religion has spread across the planet. Now, if you look at what we were speaking, that's what we were speaking about, right? If you look at the world, there are two constants that run through it, as far as I'm concerned, within the Middle East, stroke Africa, and the Western world. It's the spread of expansionist religions. Now, if all the religion did was to take their book and say, here's the book, you can either accept it or not accept it, I would say that is fine, because people have a right to any belief that they wish. Interrupt me anytime you wish. They have
Because we have gone away from the point again. I still want to know what's the point you're trying to debate here.
The point
Every time you change the goalpost for some reason. Every time I ask you a question, you change the goalpost.
I have not gone away
that
from
is
the
the
point.
point.
You don't understand.
What is the main contention here? I just want to
Can I just say to you?
the Abrahamic faiths
Listen,
are
let
expansionist.
me, because I said this is
The other
time-
religions,
This
I'll
is
tell you
time
what,
out.
have you
I
ever-
said to you, this is
No,
happening.
no, no.
This happens.
You asked me to jump in, I'm
all
trying
the
to jump in.
time, and that's the reason
Let's
why
let him get the chop
earlier I said if you came to Hyde Park once
Yes.
upon a time, you could have political discussions and so on and so forth, and now it's just a big outside mosque. If you go against whatever the prevailing, if you go against whatever the prevailing belief is, they don't wish to hear, because essentially,
I still don't know what the discussion is about, honestly.
what I think that you do.
I think you're changing the goalposts
No,
every
no, no,
time.
no. I'm
Every
not
time I
changing
ask
the
you a question
goalposts.
about Islam,
And-
with regards to what you said, you asked me
Let
what
me
is
just
one
say
thing
to
that
you,
you lied about.
this-
I asked, okay, you did not lie, but some things you missed out, the key points. For example, I asked you about Abu Bakr radiallahu. Tell me what was the wars that he fought
Now,
for.
this is
Let's see
the
if you know
classic,
that.
hold on, this is the classic bait and switch.
See what I mean?
This is-
See what I mean? You want to answer a question?
This is the classic bait and switch, because if I answer...
How's that switch? Didn't
if
you
I-
mention that?
Well, hold on a minute, hold on a
Didn't-
second.
Didn't you
Hold on,
mention that?
I'll answer it for you.
So he's asking
I'll
you. Go
answer
ahead,
it for
go ahead,
you.
go ahead.
The reason why, and I said to you previously earlier on, that I don't answer these questions because essentially what it's meant to do is to take you away from your original point.
Which is?
And the original point is that Islam has no greater distinction than any other religion that's been here on this planet. But hold on. Well, I'm answering you. Yeah, it has no other clear distinction from any other religion that exists on this planet Earth. So if I start going into Umar, and the wars that Umar had, and the taxes, the jizra that he put on the non-believers. It's a side issue. It's a side issue. The issue is that the beginning of Islam.
No, it's not.
The beginning.
It's not the beginning of Islam.
The beginning.
And this is where you're wrong. You keep saying this is the origin of
This is
Islam.
semantics.
No, it's
This
not
is
semantics. I'm sorry to say this.
It is.
Look,
Bro, let the man talk as well. Let's have a
it's
The problem, you
semantics.
keep saying this is the origin of Islam. This is not the origin of
it's
Islam.
semantics.
Islam, look, the word Islam is the Arabic term. Yes, that might have originated 1400 years ago. But the belief in one God did not originate 1400 years ago. And this is the key point which you keep missing. Yes, there were gods who were basically believed by other countries, other geographic regions like Japan and Egypt and so on. Yes, there were other gods. I do not deny that. But the key point is this. In many regions of the world, other than the Middle East, okay, there was also belief in one God. And this is what, for example, take the example of Ashoka in India. Yes, he fought wars to spread his religion. Guess what was his religion? Do you know?
I've no idea.
Buddhism.
Yeah.
Yes, this was a Buddhist king in India who was